You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Stark.
You know me?
I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
My only curse is you.
All that for a drop of blood. You have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you.
Stop. Spare his life, and I will give you the stone.
No tricks.
Don't.
One to go.
Where is he? Did we just lose? Why would you do that?
Please stay away from me. Stay away from me!
Stop it quickly! Wait!
Jean, please!
I know whose blood that was.
This is my destiny.
The return of the X-Men now in the MCU will change many things in history. Within the universe of the comics, it seems that there has always been a conflict between the Avengers and the mutants. Differences in ideologies, protection, or even a tireless search for power, all of this will make the gears of destiny change. This story that I will bring now is literally insane. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. After the events of Doomsday, when Doom Stark, the fusion between Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom, nearly rewrote the entire multiverse, the entire world was faced with a delicate and extremely dangerous decision. Doom Stark, now voluntarily exiled in Latveria, built an empire made of technology, magic, and absolute power, creating dimensional barriers that kept any invader away, and any threat outside his domains. In a controversial decision, the New Avengers, led by Sam Wilson, decided to accept a provisional peace agreement with Doom, allowing him to live in isolation, as long as he did not cross the borders of Latveria. A decision that for some was a sign of wisdom, for others, of weakness. But not everyone agreed with this. Not everyone was willing to turn a blind eye to such a great threat, even if it was for now contained. And it was within the silent walls of Xavier's school that the first signs of rupture began to emerge. Magneto, standing before a holographic projection that showed Doom walking freely through the streets of Latveria, watched in complete silence, until finally he broke the silence of the room with a voice filled with fury and contempt. They simply let him live. After everything, after Doomsday, after we almost lost all existence, they simply let him. And as surprising as it was, for the first time in decades, Professor Charles Xavier did not disagree with Eric. In a serious and resolute tone, Xavier simply stated, "Eric is right. Doom Stark is not just a threat. He is a mistake that cannot, under any circumstances, be tolerated. If the Avengers will not act, then we will." The shock was immediate. The room filled with tension. John Gray, Scott, Summers, Wolverine, and Storm looked at each other, unable to believe what they were hearing. Cyclops himself, always the most rational, asked directly, "So, are we declaring war on the Avengers?" Magneto, crossing his arms and giving a cold smile, answered without blinking, "It's not war, it's correction." And Xavier, in a firm tone, completed, "They made a decision. Now, we make ours." On the other side, at the New Avengers Tower, an alert went off. Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, Yelena Belova, and Frank Castle quickly gathered in the command room. AI Friday was firing off reports. Mobilization detected. Magneto, Professor Xavier, and multiple members of the X-Men are on their way to Latveria airspace. Sam clenched his fists, staring at the map. I knew this was going to happen. They didn't accept it. They couldn't accept it. Bucky, crossing his arms, answered dryly, "To be fair, I don't accept it either." Yelena, looking at the data, completed. "But war between us? Between the Avengers and the X-Men? That's insanity." And Frank Castle, always straightforward, slowly stood up, cocked his rifle, and fired without hesitation. It's not the first time that heroes have killed each other over differences, and, the way things are, it won't be the last. Sam took a deep breath, looked at everyone, and in a heavy tone declared, "They think we're weak for not eliminating Doom. They think we're bowing down, but they don't understand. They don't understand that avoiding war is much harder than making it. But maybe they'll understand now." Meanwhile, in Latveria, lightning cracked the sky. Storm and Magneto advanced, splitting the skies, manipulating the weather and electromagnetic fields around Doom's borders. The capital was completely protected, encased in dimensional force fields and magical circuits. And there, atop Latveria Tower, Doom Stark watched it all, arms crossed, staring at the monitors. They came. Humans. Mutants. They never learn. But let them destroy themselves. I am no longer their problem. They will burn each other. And then the inevitable happened. From the east, the X-Men descended. Magneto floated slowly, his eyes glowing, followed by Jean Grey, Cyclops, Logan, and Storm. Opposite, on the west side, the New Avengers took position. Sam Wilson flew low, shield in hand. Bucky and Frank Castle prepared their heavy arsenal, and Yelena, positioning herself with her attack drones. The silence that preceded the battle was more deafening than any explosion. Sam broke first. "Last chance. Come back. It doesn't have to be this way." Magneto, with a look of contempt, replied, in a voice that sounded like twisted iron. "You carry a shield, but you don't understand what it means to protect. You chose to live kneeling before doom. We chose to stand." Cyclops completed, activating his visor. "You chose the wrong side." And Frank, aiming the rifle, just said, "I only see targets." The first shot came from Cyclops. The crimson beam tore through the field, being reflected by Sam's vibranium shield, who immediately flew towards Magneto, trying to attack him from above. Bucky and Frank fired, but Jean Grey, with her telekinesis, crushed the drones before they could even reach him. Yelena went to the flanks trying to disarm Logan, but the mutant advanced without hesitation, tearing through the shock fields like paper. It was chaos. Total chaos. Mutants and humans, heroes and heroes, all colliding over a simple matter of ideology, justice, or survival. And there, in the shadows of his fortress, Doom Stark watched, hands clasped behind his back, watching every move, every blow, every mistake, and smiling slightly. They destroy each other, while I watch. Because in the end, this was never a game about who was right or wrong. It was always a question of who will survive the longest at the end of time. Continues. What will trigger this whole event? Which side will come out on top? Click the like button and see you in the next video. Bye.